CBS News congressional correspondent Scott MacFarlane joins us now from Capitol Hill. Before we get to that, Scott, I want to get to this breaking news that the Trump inauguration could possibly be moved indoors, we're hearing, because of the weather. What are you hearing about that?
The president-elect removed the mystery and the intrigue. He announced on his social media platform, in fact, it will move indoors here at the Capitol. Traditionally, it's held on the grand west front of the Capitol with supporters lining the National Mall. But the temperatures here are going to be particularly brutal Monday. It is also a possibility of a Sunday night snow event, which makes things very dicey in the congested city of Washington, D.C. So this is not a big surprise, but obviously it changes the optics of a presidential inaugural. The last time this happened was 40 years ago when Ronald Reagan's second oath was taken indoors in the Capitol Rotunda. Not the space you see beside me, but a few hundred feet away in the actual Capitol Rotunda, which looks similar but is larger. The proceedings will still happen at 12 p.m., presumably with the same speakers. They have an inaugural parade for each presidential inauguration, and according to the president-elect's post and some of our reporting, they're going to move the parade indoors to Washington, D.C.'s basketball arena, where Donald Trump has a rally scheduled one day earlier anyhow. That's the Capital One Arena, about a mile or two from Capitol Hill. So we have an indoor event Monday, which does a couple things. Takes crowd size off the table as an issue that was surfacing in 2017, but it also makes it far less dangerous. I got to tell you, Liz, I attended any number of Trump rallies in the heat. There were people just fainting by the dozen. There was concern about a more significant medical emergency in single-digit wind chills and barely teens temperatures.
I can imagine it takes a lot of things off the table, and so also in terms of security as well, Scott. I want to get to some other breaking news that happened earlier today. Ohio's governor announcing his pick to replace Vice President-elect JD Vance in the Senate. Who is expected to take his seat? Is this another Trump loyalist?
This would be the lieutenant governor of Ohio, who has had sights on running for governor to succeed Governor Mike DeWine. The lieutenant governor is John Husted, a former House Speaker in Ohio, a former Secretary of State in Ohio. When they're doing these short-term appointments to fill Senate seats, a lot of governors, when they have that unique power, like to pick people who have statewide experience, those who've held statewide office. John Husted, as the lieutenant governor and former Secretary of State, fits the bill just fine. Doesn't have to learn about parts of the state he doesn't represent because he represents all of it. This is a 2-year fill-in term. When you're filling somebody else's shoes, an appointee in the U.S. Senate, that seat goes back up for election the next election year in Congress. That's 2026. But John Husted has a record of being deeply aligned with Donald Trump. There was not an expectation that Mike DeWine was going to appoint a contrarian voice as a Republican with such narrow margins in the Congress. The Senate's going to be basically 53 to 47. There is little space and interest by Republicans in having somebody who's not a loyalist to Donald Trump in one of those seats.
Yeah, every vote is going to count. All right, let's get back to, speaking of voting, let's get back to the Senate hearing from earlier today, Scott. One of the biggest issues President-elect Trump and Kristi Noem have with the Biden administration is its immigration policy. So how would it look different with Noem leading the DHS?
Kristi Noem was being questioned about how she's going to execute these particularly ambitious promises of Donald Trump for mass deportations in short order. Deportations are a process that takes time, takes money, takes manpower, not something that can be done quickly. And that was the line of questioning Kristi Noem faced most frequently today. How would she execute this plan? She has answered as well as she can before she takes over the position and sees the inside of the operation. But she's been unambiguous in her answers that she believes Donald Trump won the election based on those promises and that it is a top priority and something that needs to move expeditiously. Kristi Noem believes she and the administration had a mandate to move fast on this, but clearly there's going to be a request of Congress to help fund this moving forward, where that narrow Republican majority becomes all the more critical for Donald Trump.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. All right, Scott MacFarlane, thanks to you so much for that live for us from Capitol Hill.